Question: we've talked so much about the communication, the alignment, all that stuff. Where are you versus where you expected to be? Are you concerned at all? Mark said it was sloppy Saturday, but are you on progress, I guess, for what you would think going from a huddle team to a no-huddle operation?
I think it's always a work in progress, and every situation's a little bit different. Again, you're certainly mixing in a lot of different guys at different positions. There's also the responsibility from my standpoint too to keep it as simple as possible. I think sometimes we can push the scheme so much. Right now, this last week, we really just focuses on execution, getting lined up, and again, with the amount of moving parts, 3 different quarterbacks in the rotation, 7, 8 offensive linemen, just making sure everybody's on the same page.
Coach, what do you attribute maybe like the slowdown to on Saturday with some sloppy play? Is it just fatigue or is it concentration, something else perhaps?
Well, I think any athlete, it's always that battle within themselves. There's the urgency they need to get lined up. There's the level of communication that needs to happen with all the players, and then it's the focus on doing your job. And so certainly there's a lot of installation in, there's a lot of thinking going on, but the goal here in the last 3, 4, 5 practices is just to get, from an execution standpoint, everybody on the same page.
Talk about getting everybody on the same page. You know that a lot of these guys who are returning, this is the 4th time or 3rd time they're installing an offense. How important is that simplicity of just making sure you get the basics of this offensive down for maybe an offensive line group or someone like that in the spring?
I think it's a big challenge, because just as you want to work on that core and the fundamental piece of getting better, there's certainly the situational part of it as well, and as that season hits, and have we covered red zone, have we covered 3rd downs to the extent we need to, 2-minute drill, on and on. So I think that's the constant balance, if you will, for myself and our staff, is just the core stuff, but also making sure that when we do get to some of these newer situations, it's not the first time that they've heard it in August.
You've got about, like you said, 3 or 4 more left with these guys this spring. But how can they continue to develop between now and whenever fall camp and the OTAs and all that stuff begins over the summer?
I think obviously it starts in the weight room, and those guys from a confidence standpoint, from a durability standpoint of working on their bodies and getting themselves in position to play, in a conference like this. I think certainly from player-run practices and the scheme like we talked about it, the more reps they can take on their own over and over again, from a technique standpoint, from a communication standpoint, all those things will be pivotal moving into the year.
Which it sounded like it's not going to be anything close to a scrimmage in the spring game this weekend, but what do you want fans to see from the offense? I know you probably want to hold some stuff back, but you also want to get people excited, so what do you hope they see on Saturday?
I think execution is where it starts. We want to, again, simplify it as much as possible, not necessarily from the, hey, what are we showing, what are we not showing, but simplifying it for these guys to make sure they're able to get out there, get aligned, play fast. And certainly there will be some change in tempo. We just want them to feel how that feels from a conditioning standpoint. We're going to have to get ourselves into that kind of shape to be able to play faster.
Does that mean a lot of long balls? Get people excited about that?
We'll see. We will see. Sometimes at the end of these games it turns into that. So,
being new and not having recruited to the players that you have, and I'm not asking you to compare and contrast the styles you had there, but do you have what you need to install the offense that you want to run, and are you short in some places that you have to fill in the next couple months in recruiting or for next season?
I'm pleased with the players on this roster, and I think you're always looking, at what positions are we a winnable grade, at what positions we're not, especially in this day and age in football. But I think there's a lot to work with. This offensive line is a group that returns starters that have experience. The running back group has been a very consistent, solid group through camp. I think the receiver group is an extremely talented group. The tight end group is probably the most experienced of everybody. So I think there's a lot to work with here. Again, it's finding those pieces, putting those guys in the right spots to make them as successful as they can be.
We talk about receiver development, improving route running or whatever it may be. So what exactly does that look like for these guys who have played a lot of football? What are the kind of specifics that they can improve during this offseason?
Yeah, and I know I'm kind of saying the same things over and over again, but I think at that position it starts with urgency in my alignment, having great communication of knowing what my responsibility is so I can have a plan and play fast. I think so many people see a wide receiver running a route and they just think it's a route, but there's 3 different looks, there's different techniques. So again, the faster these guys can develop a plan, what's my route, how am I going to beat that coverage, what do I need to do in the run game blocking wise, get my hands inside, take proper angles, the faster they play with better technique, their game will certainly get better.
Which those guys behind Brock, well, I shouldn't imply that, but the other quarterbacks since day one through today, what have you seen from their progress?
Bo has been extremely consistent and steady. He's got a good knowledge of the system, and his ability to be accurate and tough provides a lot of consistency. I think Cutter Boley, for what you guys have seen, he's certainly a young guy that can do a lot of good things. He's talented. I think right now for him, a playbook, days stacking on days now being in day 10, there's a lot of thinking going on. But once it slows down for him, we're very excited about his future.
Some good things about Anthony Brown this spring week. I saw him a little bit last year. What do you like about him, and kind of what does he add to that group with some more experience?
Yeah, I mean, he's kind of got that heart, man. He is that type of player, although he's small in size. I think his want-to from a perimeter blocking standpoint, from a standpoint of wanting to do all the dirty work, it's what you dream of at that position, because if you're willing to do the little things, if you're willing to do the dirty work, it creates opportunities for you down the field just naturally. Anthony's probably one guy for me from a leadership standpoint that I really think, although being a young guy, is going to be a guy who's going to have to step up in that role, and a lot of people listen to him.
So you talked about learning those reps that you can do without, Vince Marrow's been here for a long time. His group got a lot of veterans in it. How's that tight end room looking for you as this offense progresses? How are they learning it? Are they providing stability in the leadership there? Just how's that room doing?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that is the group day to day that from a maturity standpoint, from an experience standpoint, we certainly rely on to be the rock of the offense in a lot of ways. And so even those guys, you talked about it, whatever the situation is, right? 3 coordinators, 4 coordinators, 4 years. For some of the guys, it's maybe just a difference in what the verbiage is, but they're doing a great job of picking it up.
A lot of the talk the last couple of seasons has been the offensive line. What have you seen from them over the last couple of weeks?
Growth. Again, I think Wolf's doing a great job. There's a certain level of physicality, as we all know, that we need to play with in this league, and that's going to be the big step. It's just bigger, faster, stronger, continuing to work as a unit, solidifying who those 5, 6 guys are that are in that rotation, and then the cohesion of that group.
On Saturday, students mentioned how you guys can't really have a lot of down linemen out. How has that affected the offensive line, just not having those reps with those linemen in practice?
It's always a challenge. I think everybody in the country is dealing with it, though, as we know, right? As physical as these seasons have become, as long as these seasons have become, you're ultimately coming out in spring with less and less guys. And so still quality work, though. 10 practices in, whatnot, being able to get those guys out there, get the younger guys developing, the veterans taking ownership of it, still a lot of quality work getting done.
A couple more guys and we'll get Cutter out here.
Brett talked about last week how he thinks the team will really follow Brock. What have you seen from him, just from a leadership standpoint, maybe on and off the field, that stands out to you?
Yeah, I think it starts with being authentic and genuine, and I feel that about Brock. He's not trying to be somebody who he's not. Quarterbacks come in different shapes and sizes and all different walks of life, and I think he's got a unique ability to be around other people and get along with all different types of people. So that's a start. I think the second thing is just his preparation. Anytime you find your quarterback being a guy that wants it as bad as anybody and is putting in that time, I think there's a level of respect that's earned. And so I think that with Brock, he's everything you want from a character standpoint, from a work ethic standpoint. He's a highly talented kid, and it's going to come down to his decision making and his ability to make plays.
Coach, with all those linemen on defense, dealing with the injuries, Coach said the 7-on-7, or the spring game would be a little bit different. Has Coach kind of talked a little bit more about what that will look like? Is that going to be more of a 7-on-7 all offensive thing, or how's that going to work with all those you guys got?
You know, we haven't had those discussions just yet. I think, you know, it's really important for us. Obviously, we got one more practice really before that game. We'll talk through those things again. I think, you know, safety of our players is always going to be the priority. But we certainly want to get, you know, enough work in that we feel we can evaluate it and give our players the best experience of what a game's going to feel like.
Kind of Coach Hamdan was just saying, 10 practices in, it starts to add up a little bit. You're thinking a lot out there. Just how's the spring, you think, gone for you?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I'm just really trying to simplify the offense for myself. You know, it's a new scheme, everything like that, but I'm really enjoying it. Coach Hamdan's making it really easy to learn. He's making it black and white for us. So I'm just trying to make it really simple for myself, every play out there.
What were your reaction when Coach Cohen left? I mean, you said when you committed, him coming back was such a huge part of that, and he's obviously not here. How did you kind of process all of that?
Yeah, I just took my time. You know, I had a lot of conversations with Coach Stoops, and you know, I was gonna, you know, my heart's here in Kentucky, so I was gonna let it ride through, and I'm really happy with Coach Hamdan and everything he's brought to the table. He's been nothing but great, and I can't wait for the season to learn more from him and Brock.
How excited are you from Hamdan since he's been here?
Just to play fast and smooth and play my game. Just to not overcomplicate it for myself and to be able to play fast and not just not overcomplicate it for myself. You know, just play my game and be loose.
You mentioned Brock. What have you been able to take from him? I'm sure this is an adjustment from high school.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's awesome to have guys like Brock and Bo in the room that's had a lot of years under their belt, and I can learn a lot from. Both guys have a ton of experience, and they've been a few different places. So there's a ton of stuff I can grab from them, and I'm learning stuff from them every single day.
How excited are you to finally put on an official uniform with UK, stop leave that practice thing at home, and get it outside in Kroger with all your friends and family watching?
Yeah, no, it's definitely awesome. It's a dream come true since I've been a little kid. I've been a UK football fan, so being out there practicing is awesome, and it's a ton of fun. The practices are really competitive, and we get a lot of work in, and we got a lot of great guys out there, so it's been a blast.
You know, there's been talks over the years of how much the early enrollment has been beneficial for players.
Absolutely.
How's this helping you, and you know, would you encourage it for the next guy? Like, how encouragement? How has that?
Yeah, I don't see where I'd be if I didn't do it. I'm really happy I did. I'm so much farther along than I would be if I hadn't do it. Just scheme, football knowledge, everything. It just gets you that extra step ahead for sure.
There's a connection there. You're talking about Brock helping. You mentioned Bo's name. I know there's been some connections there before from here, knowing him before he got here. How much has he helped you? Just like I said, he's been here before.
Both guys on and off the field are great dudes. And I can go talk to them about anything. It doesn't have to be about football. Both guys have become some of my closest friends while I've been here so far. So just two great dudes that know a ton about football, and two of my best friends on the team for sure.
What's been the hardest thing and easiest thing to adjust to Cutter so far?
I'd say just you know, the level of talent out there is definitely different. You know, throwing to guys, in a way it's almost easier, you know, throwing to bigger, better athletes, and it's just the competition so much better one-on-one every day. Just getting used to those big, fast dudes in the SEC for sure.
You were around practice quite a bit, right? Whether it's workouts, actual practices. How much different is it seeing on the sidelines or maybe just throwing a little bit out here versus actually being in the day-to-day grind of it all?
Yeah, it's definitely a lot different. But it's a ton of fun. Like I said, I've learned so much already from both the guys in the room and Coach Hamdan. But yeah, it's definitely a lot different from watching from the sideline and being out there for real.
They talk about freshmen adjusting to the speed of the game being a big deal in that first year. Is there like a guy on the other side of the ball that makes you think of that when they make comments?
Yeah, you say speed. I think of Max Harrison for sure. He's all over the field. He can fly around. But yeah, he's a lockdown corner. But yeah, he's a guy who flies around all over the field. He's definitely a guy you can see who's just a next level talent, and a guy who's got different speed.
We've seen you chuck it deep quite a bit throughout your career.
Yes, sir.
What's it like throwing to a guy as fast as Barry on? Can you overthrow Barry on?
I haven't done it yet. I don't think it's possible yet. But no, it's definitely nice to having a guy, you can put that ball out there. He's going to run under it for you, make a play. For sure.
One of the other early release, Hardly Gilmore, we've heard a lot about this spring. Have you already developed that connection, and what have you seen from him?
I've built a really good connection off the field and on the field with Hardly. I think us two is gonna be something special in the future, a connection here at UK. But I couldn't be more happy and more proud of him and how he's done at practice so far. He's been electric, and he keeps getting better every day, and he's learned the scheme really well. And I'm really excited to see what he can do in the future.
How much did it help you that you had been around practice and thrown to some of these guys before? Kind of help you make that adjustment into college ball?
Yeah, it definitely made it a little bit easier, being familiar with some of the things and being familiar with some of the guys I'm throwing routes to for sure made it easier to come in here and just play fast.
That's good. Last time we talked to you, it was before actually getting to play with everybody. So what's it been like lining up alongside those guys in the trenches?
It's been great just to get back into a football setting and utilizing these reps around spring and stuff. It's been great though, just having fun with the guys, me, Farm, me and JJ, we go at it a lot at practice, so it's just been fun. Just going out there, having fun, playing ball.
The run game has been a staple here at Kentucky since Mark has been here. How is that run game progressing? A lot of new offensive linemen, new coaches. It looks like that whole room is kind of new. The D-line got injuries. Like, how are you guys progressing in that area?
We're progressing good. We're training in the right way. Right now, Coach Wolf, he harps on us. Yeah, we go out there, kick defense butt, but we got to look at it and be realistic. Like, even though we pushing them guys and having 200-300 yards in practice, we try to critique us make sure we're doing everything right. So like with me, he just always be like, bring my second step. Even though I'm moving the guy off the ball, he'd be like, man, bring my second step. He's always critiquing me and making sure that I'm doing everything right and at the highest level.
Coach Wolf has a reputation for kind of being a hard ass, for the lack of a better term. So what's it like to play for an offensive line coach like that?
I don't think it's a hard ass because it's love at the end of it, and he know where I want to go. He know where a lot of the guys want to go, so he gonna push you. That's his job, to push you and bring everything out of you. So he's been hard on me, but he knows where I want to go, and I know what I want to go. So I just have to take it, keep learning from him. I'm actually learning a lot. He actually taking my game to the next level, just seeing the weaknesses that I got back from last year, and he just making my weaknesses my strength now. So just keep working on that.
Being one of the new guys, who's kind of helped you just kind of get used to everything here?
Really everybody. Everybody is like a real brotherhood, there's no cliques, there's no like weird energy. Brock, Seven, JJ, Ox, like a lot of guys from the offense and defense side of the ball, like Farm, Marcus, Eli, Jag, Dylan, like all those guys, like we just all try to build a brotherhood, and it correlates. So when we go out there on practice, we go out there have fun because we playing with our brothers.
You mentioned Brock. What have your impressions been from him?
Man, he can throw the ball, man. He can throw the ball. Like, he's not that tall. And I'm like, man, nah, he can't throw it that far. And then he surprised me. I was like, oh, yeah, he over there looking like Matt Ryan or something, man.
A lot of people have told us that he's an easy guy to follow.
Yes, sir.
And very relatable as a teammate.
Yes, sir.
Have you noticed those things too? And
yes, sir.
What has impressed you just from like the leadership?
Leadership, he's not a raw guy. He like to lead and by example, and that's how he really brought the team, by making plays and leading. And you guys could trust him. Trust is very big, especially in a high speed offense as this, because we got to trust the guys from the left to the right that everybody's gonna do their job. And Brock, he showed everybody that we're gonna trust him to do his job.
For an old lineman, what's the biggest thing a quarterback can do to earn your trust?
And just communicate, really. Just communicate, understand the offense. If he got to flip the protection to block the pressure, or just command. be commanding and vocal, and that's everything that Brock been doing since he's been here, since winter workouts.
There's been so much talk this spring about Kentucky's offense is going much faster than they used to, but obviously Tennessee, you ran an offense that is way faster than this. Do you have to tell some guys sometimes that this is not even fast compared to what I do?
It's not fast, but what's different is like with Tennessee, man, we was in sideline to sideline. That makes sense. We was up the hash, so a lot of our plays was vertical. And like since I transferred here, I ain't never like really worked on open end, inside zone, outside zone, and cutting off, or even duo. So like just little plays like that, I'm like, dang. Or like what's my trouble right now is like play action pass. Like it's just all different, all new to me. But I mean, you could tell from day one to day 15 now. I'm just keep working on it and just keep trending in the right way. So on Saturday, especially November 2nd, we'll be in the right place.
You mentioned just kind of going back and forth a little bit with JJ. Are those the kind of reps that you gear up for? Maybe do a little jaw on that?
Yes, sir. Scrimmage? Absolutely, because JJ is an NFL guy, and when I know I'm gonna play on Sundays, I know he's gonna play on Sundays. So every time me and JJ line up, I'm gonna take the reps serious. I'm gonna get him better. He's gonna get me better.
He also talked a little bit about fear break on Saturday. What does he do kind of differently rushing off of the edge?
I call it unorthodox, but because I just ain't used to it. But he just like he studied what you don't do, and that's something that I ain't never really had to like practice with. Because you know, with guys over there in Tennessee, man, they were just fast up the edge. Where up here, I got to really not kick as fast because they like to go inside, they like to bull, they like to just switch it up. So they give me different looks that I'm gonna see on Saturday as well. So it's been good, it's been competitive, it's been fun.
Is there like a skilled guy that maybe the fans haven't seen a lot of yet that you think they'll really enjoy watching Saturday?
A skilled guy, man, Chip, number 4, Chip gonna do some things, man. Running back, Chip gonna do some things. And then everybody knows what 7 could do. 7 been doing good. And they ain't like that at receiver. But I think all the skilled guys gonna go out there and do something, man, because the offense give us the opportunity to showcase our skills. And that's something that you need in a high-profile offense.
What's the best part about Chip's game?
Man, for somebody that barely played running back, I think he played like linebacker or something at Ohio State. It's just he's fast, quick, explosive, run through contact. He know how to set up the blocks, so he's just not going to hit a hole if you see it, because the linebacker right there, he's going to bring the linebacker to you so we could get off on our double team. And this his leadership. Chip is just like Brock as well. He's not a big raw guy, but his play style wants you to play for him, if that makes sense. Wants you to go harder for him because, okay, Chip going hard, all right, let me go harder. So
he said, you guys have been through some coordinator changes since you've been here, and a lot of different guys. But he said that tight end room is something that's bringing maturity, bringing stability, just because there's a lot of veterans in there. What do you think about that statement?
I mean, I would wholeheartedly agree. I mean, I feel like Coach Merrill sets the standards high, and we just follow right along with it, and we push each other every day to be mature, be there for one another, help out our teammates, and just do everything we can. So I think we have our standards high and make sure we set the tone.
So something y'all let bleed into the rest of the offense and not just your room, that, hey, this group is going to be a standard for other rooms.
Absolutely. We're trying to affect all parts of the team. Defense, too. We're trying to really make an impact and show that.
Last spring, you were hurt, Caddis was hurt, the whole tight end room was pretty much hurt except Isaiah. So what do you think you've been able to get out of having all of the group healthy?
Honestly, we making tremendous strides, really. Personally, this is my first offseason. I've really had to develop myself, and with that, I've really been able to actually put on weight, develop in the blocking game, and just really focus on taking that next step to get to the next level. And so I just really say that it's really been effective, and just having time to really sit down, get with coach, talk with my other tight ends and stuff, and really just communicate with one another and understand what we're trying to do in each play, what we're trying to achieve.
Do you guys have like friendly competitions with one another when you're in practice?
Definitely. We definitely have friendly competitions, hard competitions, whatever type. It's always competition in that room, and I feel like that's really what drives us to be better.
We've been hearing in practice a lot of you, a lot of caddies on the field at the same time. How is that, different or the same from Coach Cohen to Coach Hamdan?
I mean, it's a lot of similarities, honestly, but we love to be in a 12 personnel type thing, and so we stick with it and feel like the tight ends can bring a lot to the table. So I feel like that's the reason for that, and just got to keep on chipping away,
It seems different when
versatile group.
Yeah.
Is there a skill set that maybe one of those other guys have that you would like to add to your game or improve?
I mean, really, I just give kudos to Kamari. He's a young guy, but he's moving out there, running well, able to cut, and just really showing his receiving abilities. And I'm making sure my game is well-rounded just like that, and making sure I can really stand out on the field. And I just really say him, and then like Caddis as well, like his blocking, we're all feeding off one another, honestly, and like each person is picking up one thing from another, and that's really what makes us better.
From a run blocking perspective and like a scheme-wise deal, there's how much differences are there? There's a lot been talked about the similarities, but are there significant differences for you guys, whether it's inside or outside zone, stuff like that?
Honestly, not too much. I mean, it's different names, but still the same type of combination, still the same type of just blocking schemes, and so it's really all the same, but just learning that new offense, new lingo, and that's really what is the hardest thing, honestly, just making that transition. But really, it's all the same.
We haven't seen Big Mincey in action, I guess, except on the other side of the ball. So what's it like blocking next to a dude that big?
Mincey?
Yeah.
I mean, it's nice, it's nice, and having him and having the other transfers in, really making an impact, pushing the O-line room, and I feel like that's really going to strengthen us and make us even better. So
there's 3 new quarterbacks to that room from last year's roster. But how's that room progressing there? What are you seeing from those guys? How's it like working with them? Just the whole quarterback room in general.
Honestly, I've been loving it. So happy to have Bo back. I mean, he's the one who gave me my first collegiate pass. So I mean, there's a little special connection there. But just with all the guys, they're so talented, and they just push each other to be better. And I've never really seen a room like this, because usually it's like just one main guy, but I feel like they're all good and they're all contribute in some type of way, and I think that's just going to make us even better.
What about Cutter? We just talked with him.
Mm-hmm.
You've been around a while,
yeah.
Been in some tight end rooms. How does he compare to other young quarterbacks that you've been around? How far along is he compared to some guys that age?
Yeah, honestly, Cutter really excites me, man. Because he's just so much unraw talent. He has a lot in his bag, and once that's really fine-tuned and developed, I can't wait to see what the future holds for him, honestly.